dreaming with Benny and Bomber and the guys about the Nude Star and stuffs like that, I already saw the importance of lore for our product. We have many different and special gameplays loop prepared for Star Atlas, but I think that the lore is like what gives the structures and the gameplay loops that we are creating the meaning that makes this a very special project, right? I feel that everyone should know of how the Usturs are, their culture, their traits, their psychology, their uniqueness, in some extent. And every race and every Star Atlas institution and faction, they they have proper and unique traits that will be unraveled to the community in the following months as we prepare
Go.
ourselves
Let's go.
to
Sorry,
the
I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. Sorry.
yeah, sorry, Soichi. So as we prepare ourselves for the first interactive gameplay structure that's Scream, right? So you guys will see the star systems, you guys will see the planets, you guys will see the manufacturers, you guys will see the institutions, you guys will see the factions and races, and you guys will know what happened there. What are those things? What are the meanings and how you guys want to deal with them? And for starters, I think that we should do a very quick recap on where we are in the lore of Star Atlas right now. I feel that some people might not be following it. Uh, and yeah, we have it all spread around. We are at the weekly lore report number 20. And we have the Atlas stars with the Punab Whisper, sharing gossips and secrets about our metaverse. So I think on the last Atlas Star, I condensed most of our lore. And if you guys are curious about it, I'll drop the link on our chat right
Awesome.
now. So
Yeah, I
maybe
think it
you
makes
can.
sense to cover it real quick to say if you want. Let's go through what is the law right now, like how it looks like. I know it's it's a hard topic to ask you to cover it quick, but
Yeah,
just
yeah,
speak a little bit about it if you want.
it's really hard, right? But please feel free to interrupt me if you see that I'm losing
Yeah,
myself in the depths of the lore river.
you're
So
good.
yeah, guys, the story of Star Atlas actually has one main point, and it's interesting because everything seems to revolve around it, which is Iris and the Cataclysm. In a earlier period of time, Iris, a planet with uncountable resources, for some reason escaped its orbit and started going rogue across the galaxy. And it found seven of other dwarf planets and collided with them. And this experience caused the surging of a new form of energy, a free form of energy, and a high valuable debris asteroid field around Iris. And this created an anomaly in our galaxy, a unique thing that wasn't present in everywhere in existence. And as you guys know, our universe, it works with natural laws, it works with rules like gravity that we can understand and explore. But Iris is a very special region in the space because it's kind of eludes this general understanding of the universe. And very interesting things happens as there as well. We have the tufa, we have pretty much the most desirable things in our galaxy. Their location is in the heart of the cataclysm. It's Iris. And at some point, a group of explorers end up, by fate or by luck, reaching out to Iris. And then they find the coordinates to this planet and they escape the region of the cataclysm and they start talking with all the three factions at the same time. They sell this information for the three different factions, and the factions, upon seeing the resources from the data scan that those explorers produced, they sent their fleets to the region. By arriving there, they see each other converging to the same place, and they started discussing how they could share the resources. But due to reasons that will be explained in other pieces of our lore, the tratative goes south, and a bloody war happens all across the galaxy. By this time, the different factions had already created many colonies and supply routes to explore the deep space, the
I
region
have a
closer.
question, Jose. Jose, I have
Sorry,
a question.
please go,
Uh,
Santi.
when you're referring to the big war that happened after they discovered Iris and all that, is that the Convergence War?
Yeah, that's the Convergence War.
Okay,
That's
so
what's
okay,
that's what caused the Convergence War. And the
okay.
Convergence War raised the galaxy to the point that the factions, uh, even the existence of the factions and their civilizations was threatened. So the factions they they signed the Treaty of Peace and started the Council of Peace ruling over the galaxy.
Hmm.
And
World
yeah,
War One and NATO. Got it.
yeah, you can think of it somewhat like that.
So yeah,
But
it's I'm reading it from the lore here, from the posters, number 10. All three factional leaders signed the Treaty of Peace and established the Galactic Council of Peace. The treaty establishes the open sharing of all scanned data of space on a light-speed intergalactic blockchain. The data includes fleet movements, installations, and resource discoveries. An era of peaceful trading is ushered in, and the economies of all factions boom simultaneously.
yeah, so at this point, guys, we have the three very established factions in the current days, and well, but not everything is settled. As I was just saying, the Convergence War left in its wake major destruction, especially on the planets that were not in the low risk zone. The colonies that were used for the factions to reach to Iris, they were pretty much razed and left to their own fates as the main factions retreated all their supplies, all their riches, all their structure to their homeworlds to start rebuilding the galaxy.
Mm.
And those
Yeah,
planets, they started working by themselves. And that's where we see things like the Jorvik and Echoes rising to power because those regional planets, those planets were left to their own fate and they started organizing themselves in regional powers. And that's
so
the
so
context that will take us to screen. Yes, and please.
there's a very interesting question in the chat, which is, uh, does this mean, like, going back a little bit? Does it mean that Ares is already on the Star Atlas, the map itself? Uh, will we know where it is, or will we need to find it? Do you know that answer?
Yeah, Iris, well, we'll need to find it, right? Because Iris is in the high risk zone and at the heart of the high risk zone. And as I said, Iris has a very special property due to things that happen there, which I cannot disclose right now, that eludes the underlying rules and logics of the rest of the galaxy. So I don't think that's going to be that easy to reach out to Iris and the Cataclysm Zone.
Mm, okay, okay. So I want to make sure that everybody is following the conversation. Are there any questions, guys, regarding what we were speaking? Like pretty much what we are doing. If you're new here, I see Gracious Dragon asking literally what the hell is happening. So we want to be clear. Like it's important for new people to also understand what's going on. But what we are doing is basically going through the lore that was shared until today in the different forms that it was shared, and it's mainly in the forms of the posters. So the main story lore so far has only been shared in the Rebirth campaign. It was one of the very first. It was actually the very first thing that Star Atlas brought to the market, which are posters that contain AR effects and lore. And the posters tell the story on how Star Atlas was created, and we're going through that right now. So sorry if we didn't provide much context, but if there are any questions, guys, it's This is again an open conversation. Everybody is able to just unmute and join the conversation if there are any questions on what we're going through.
Awesome, Santi. And just to end here, and we jump into our conversations just after that. What happened was that there is a new generation, which is mainly made by you, or players and or decks, and the new institution that didn't live through the period of the Convergence War. But you guys are fighting the status quo of a galaxy where the low risk zone is very rich. It produces a lot of quality of life for the ones that live in the factions homeworlds. And but some people, especially the people out of the on the medium risk zone, in the high risk zone, they are left to their own fates. And the Council of Peace has an agenda of expanding its influence across the galaxy. And but some people inside the factions, they feel that the existence of the Council of Peace and the role intergalactic order as it works now is not good. So there is this tension between generations, and that's the path that's going to take us to screen. And that's actually what we are going to explore in the lore in the next stages of our releases. We'll be telling you guys about the traits and the characteristics of each institution in Star Atlas, each civilization, each race, each star system, and things like that. So, going to the focus of our topic now, we want to learn like what's the most important thing for you as community members, as people looking for their place in Star Atlas, what you guys want to know, and the specific questions that you guys want to see answered about the many, many stories that are told in the Star Atlas metaverse. As a final thought, we'll be launching lots of initiatives on this matter. We are launching our graphic novel that will talk about the period of the Convergence War, the prequels of that. We have Moon Station 6 audio going on. We have our weekly lore that's starting to show some of the planets and structures of the galaxy of Star Atlas. And maybe on screen you see some familiar faces appearing that are
Ooh,
being portrayed in the weekly lore. So yeah, maybe it's going to be fun. So tell us, what you guys want to know about?
yeah. Before we open the conversation, I want to give a huge shout out to Atlas Theory. He's literally live streaming now the brew, and he even poured his brew, his beer. So that is
Oh
awesome.
man, let's go, Aaron.
I love to see that. I will leave his channel here in the chat. But shout out to Aaron. Aaron, we love you, man. Thank you. it's it's awesome that you have your beer there. I hope it's not an IPA. Is that called in English? IPA? I hate the IPA. But yeah, let's move
Whoa,
to the
shame,
yeah
Santi.
yeah man. I had to say it. I had to say it. But yeah, let's move to the main conversation, which is what you guys would like to see. What are the questions that you feel are not answered right now in terms of lore, or even if you're new, it's also valuable to know like what what you guys feel like you will need to know, so we can literally prioritize it on the lore pipeline. So yeah, guys, mics are open. I know the first interaction is always the toughest one, but once you start speaking, that's why
Well,
a beer is recommended.
Jose,
Yeah.
what kind of things can we learn today? Like, what kind of questions can we ask? Like, what are some popular
Uh,
things?
Tufa.
Too far.
yeah, you can
Give us some
actually,
ideas.
More Tufa.
yeah, and to address what Bomber just said, right this week I'm writing the lore of Tufas, from their creation, from where they come from their habits, the how the species work, the logic of the species. So you guys can, I believe you can guys can ask anything, like who's the main villain of Star Atlas, or any question like this, like the traits, how the culture works, how the biology of the planets works, the different manufacturers, what's their story, uh, how they interact with one another. you know, I just would ask you guys to write the question, to phrase well your questions, because this works like the Oracle of Delphos in ancient Greece. If you ask a generic question, you might receive a generic answer. So yeah.
You
And
need
by
And
the
the
way,
top
to.
three most voted on questions will get answered no matter what, right? Is that
yeah,
what
they'll
I
they'll be
saw?
answered no matter what. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Nice. You need to unlock the wisdom of the penguin. That's what he's saying. There
And
was
the
an interesting
answers.
question in the chat, Jose. Not sure if you know the answer, but I can ask it to you. From Prime Mover. He say, "What exactly is the Council of Peace? If this is faction based, isn't the Council of Peace the largest multi-faction alliance?"
Uh, Great question, Prime. The Council of Peace is a political institution created by the alliance of the three main factions. It's like you can think of it as a United Nations with steroids. They actually have fleets, they have jurisdiction, they have power. And under the current galactic order, they are the ones keeping the peace and the rule of law all across the galaxy. So, for example, if you are a criminal to the Mud faction, you are a criminal for the whole galaxy, because we are all working under the rule of the Council of Peace.
Hmm.
Yes, it's
And
Moody faction in that sense.
but is the Council of Peace also effective in the high risk zone?
The Council of Peace may have mission and interest in the high risk zone, but they lack the resources to exert jurisdiction over there. And that's one of the main reasons why we have the high risk zone is so dangerous, because the you won't see the Council of Peace fleets going to the high risk zone to arrest someone or to
Oh yeah,
establish order.
Bomber, you're safe in the high risk zone. Bomber is the main pirate, one of the main pirates. So yeah,
Shh, no one knows that.
yeah.
Well, I
So
feel like just existing in the iris zone will be much more challenging, but like that challenge will mean that outsiders will have a hard time performing in that area, whereas like the people who grew up there, so to say, will have the edge.
oh, for sure. I think it's something we talked about, like the level of coordination, defense, offense, and everything that will be needed in the high risk zone is it's going to be quite crazy.
Yeah,
Especially because there's no Council of Peace. That's one of the reasons. You will
yeah.
live or die by pirates' rules, maybe. You don't know.
What we can say that the high risk zone is not a desert. As I was saying, that the high risk zone had many different colonies, because the factions needed resource spots or supply lines to get Iris, which is very deep in the high risk zone. And our weekly lore portrays one of those planets, and you can learn how cruel reality is in the zone on some places by reading the weekly lore. You see the story of Guerrillo, which is one of the planets there.
Hmm, interesting. Jose, I want to ask you the question that Sigi posted. I think it's important to know what is actually inspiring you to write. What inspired you to start writing in the first place? I don't want to go
Oh,
super off topic, so
yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
shoot it real quick.
yeah. I'll try to answer this real quick because I want to focus on the Staratas lore. I want to thank Siggy, and I'll say that Siggy, I always loved writing, and I always loved. And I think that my whole life I was waiting for a game that reunited all the things that Star Atlas do, like a free market, player-owned assets, rich backstory and possibilities. So when I saw Star Atlas, I put all my life's writing. I was a lawyer, so I was already used to writing a lot every week. And I was always a fantasy and sci-fi fan. I have read pretty much, well, I read lots of books every month. So yeah, man, I guess my deep love, I really do love Star Atlas, and I do love our community and the project that we are having here. And every week, every day, I wake up with ideas, and it comes very natural to me. So yeah, that's
Awesome,
hope
man.
this answers the
Yeah, it's
question.
it's always good to get to know you better, Jose, and you're the man behind the lore. So one of the men behind the
Yeah,
lore.
one of
So
them. Yeah.
yeah, it's always cool, man, to know what is inspiring you and what we can expect.
Yeah, you can expect some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Dom, I know you were picking up some questions from the audience. Do you want to shoot them?
Yeah. So I saw one, um, and I really like this question. And he's curious to know what is the motivating factor for each faction outside of economic reasons. I think there's a
Ooh.
lot of information that people should start learning about their factions. So I find this kind of stuff interesting because this kind of information is what drives people to certain factions. Learning that maybe like Oni likes peanut butter on waffles. Maybe that screw Oni then. Who knows?
Oh.
Man, this is an absolutely great question. And I'll tell you that maybe the economical motivation is like the least important in terms of most of the races of Star Atlas, you know? And here I'd like to make a distinguish between the faction level and the race level. Each race, they have their own culture, they have their own lore, their own story, and money, in a sense, it's not relevant to them. And I'll share a little bit of alpha now to make my point. This is about the punabs. The punabs is actually,
Ooh.
yeah, I know that lots of our community members love the punabs, and if you guys read the descriptions of our ships, there are some pieces of lore that's there as well. And you learn that the Ogrica, if you see the images, you see pretty much every big Ogrica ship has punabs. And the Ogrica manufacturer is very tied with the punab race. But the punabs race is not a single species. There are two, how can we say it, breeds of punabs that fight among one another in their home world. And it's not like they kill each other, it's like they are competing to say to each other like who is the best punab, who's the more opulent, who has the better style and bling and things like that. So the punabs is very rich with resources, they have gold and things like that. So they actually don't care about this kind of material sense. They care about style. They care about portraying themselves as big and powerful, even though they are very small creatures. So yeah, every race will have a unique motivation as a race, and of course, individuals can have different motivations. And this is actually something that we also are portraying in the weekly lore because we have many different organizations in Star Atlas, and each one of them have different concerns. For example, Panamorpha is a faction inside the Star Atlas metaverse, which is focused in the philosophical sense of the beauty, the concepts of beauty. They feel that the universe should be beautiful. And the beautiful is tied with the idea of good, and ugliness is tied with the idea of evil for this organization. So they drive their agenda and their words following this mantra or this motto.
Very interesting. Jose. And I think you also covered with this a question that somebody asked, which is, will we? Jones, he said, you think there is a chance we could get a specific race profile like lore, story, main players, motivating factors, history, and all that? Do you think, Jose?
As our players writing their stories and profiles and things like that.
No, 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 no. On the races itself,
Oh, sure,
themselves.
of course, we'll have this. Yeah, we'll be disclosing this.
Oh,
We'll have role articles bringing, like, for example, I don't know, let's say 50 to, aside from the main story, 70 different bullet points pointing to the traits and stories and important periods of their history that make them what they are today in the lore of Star Atlas. This is currently what I'm working on right now.
yeah. So yeah, guys, you can expect a lot more lore. That's why we are doing this brew, actually. It's
Yeah, I want to know what you guys want to know first, like what's the race that you guys like the most and what you want to know about them?
oh, people, you need to speak up right now. Race and what you guys want to know from each race. That's interesting.
Oh, definitely the Ooster.
The Ooster, what from the Ooster? What are you curious about?
I feel like we need more about their history, like how they speak to one another. Is their language like or a spoken, like verbal one, or do they use like sound waves, things like that? Just more lore-driven Ooster material.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the Usur society is very interesting. They are radically different from any other species in the galaxy due to their origin stories and well, yeah, I can't go I can't go on this topic
The beans,
without
please.
spilling the alpha, but yeah, Usurs are pretty much unique in the sense of how they came to be. And one thing that Scotty is saying right now, what are their weaknesses? And this is also something that I feel that's really important because when the guys in the old ages wrote Superman and Superman was like gaining more powers and more powers and it was virtually a god in human skin, and this is kind of boring. So we want the factions to have different, the races especially, to have different approaches to life that gives them advantages and cons as well. And you can perceive this as cons, but it can be perceived as just simply traits. The guys are what they are, and every one of them will be unique, and I think that people will relate a lot with the different traits that make up each and every race unique in the Star Atlas universe.
Let's go, man.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
awesome.
Yeah. Any other? I wonder what Onis are curious about. What are you curious about, guys? You the ones who picked the Oni. What are you curious about Oni, guys?
So for
I s-
me, as an Oni member, I want to know, like, because I know there's a lot of races within Oni. I want to know which races don't like each other. I want to know all the races. I want to know which races like each other, which races are in like alliance, which races are rivals with each other. What are the different races like? Like, that's what I want to learn about
yeah,
Oni as a member of that faction.
that's a great question. And yeah, this is the story of Oni as a faction, right? How the faction Oni came to be and what it stands for, how they work, and yeah, this is actually something that's being done right now as well. I have the Oni pretty much set already, so I just get to write it.
Ooh,
And the one that, for me, my favorite one right now are the Miras. They have a very specific and unique traits for them, and even the biological stuff that you guys see in the characters art, they will be addressed, like why the Miras have that long tail on their heads. There is a reason for that, and it concerns their story, their way of being, and their homeworld experience, their evolution, and things like that. So yeah,
wow.
I feel this is going to be interesting.
Wow. Yeah, we're going to have extensive lore. We can call it like that. Rich lore.
Is this the Mirror, Jose? The one that I just posted?
Yeah. The
Exactly,
Mires.
this one.
Mires? What's the correct pronunciation, Jose?
I speak Miras. Yeah,
Mires. Mires. Bro, that sniper in the back. Wow. It's
yeah,
just
man, they are red.
it's
Yeah,
just
that's
pure
that's
fire.
a it's a live picture of me.
That's Iago of the weekly lore.
Nice.
I saw
Nice.
another question in here that I'm also really interested about, Jose. How are Tufas socially organized? Is it a feudal style organization with warlords or one supreme leader? Are they gathered in one unique group? Is there various independent groups, or
Oh
is there
my
scattered
god,
tribes
this is
ruled by one king?
This is
this
just
is
straight out of the oven, right? You just
yeah,
finished
man.
cooking this.
That's exactly out of the oven, and I love this question. Maybe we can have this as one of the three that will be the first ones to answer because I have this one done yet. And yeah, as soon as I'm allowed to this to reveal this, I will because this is also very particular to the tufa. The tufa also, in a sense, they are unique on their creation.
Yeah,
And yeah, I can say more.
they
But
they are a
yeah,
faction and
that's
they have
an
a
awesome. Yeah, this is awesome question. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So it will be answered.
it will be answered for sure.
well, we have to
First of
vote on it, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
have
have
to
to
vote
vote.
on it, but I would say
Uh,
this is an absolutely great question.
Nice, nice. So yeah, guys, shoot the questions because we'll be creating probably like a poll at the end, so people can vote on which ones are the most interesting, and the top three we'll try to get them answered.
Man, Gasper got a really good question on the chat as well.
Yeah, I can read it for you. Was the iris event natural or caused by a planet still unknown to us? Conspiracy
This
theory
is
right
a
here.
this is a really 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 good question, man, and opens up a lot of doors in terms of lore. So yeah, I think this is a good question as well to have answered.
Do you know the answer already, Jose? Because I feel like you're smiling. We can't see your
I
face,
am, and
but
I
I
am
feel like you're
smiling, but I
smiling,
won't
bro.
say anything. Yeah, I won't say anything, bro.
Yeah, trying to keep your job at the same time. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah, it's
difficult out
important
here.
because otherwise we won't have the lore. So yeah, I
Yeah,
need to
yeah. We
write
don't
it first
we don't
before
want to
getting
spill the
fired.
beans too early.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, well, Gasper, you will need to vote on that. You will need to vote on that. We'll be putting together probably all the questions that were raised today again, and probably I would say we'll do like a poll, close the chat, and we'll give time to vote until Monday or something like that. And we will try to prioritize. I mean, Jose will try to prioritize the top three of those.
Yeah, and
So
if you
we get
like,
the answer
sorry,
for
Santi,
you.
just to add,
Oh yeah,
if
go.
you like any faction like the Jorvik, for example, you can go really specific on them, like how is the Jorvik homeworld like, how they can elude the Council of Peace and things like that, because they are a pirate organization in the middle of space. How come it wasn't disassembled by the Council of Peace in the last 100 years, right?
because they
So
can.
yeah,
Oh.
maybe. But why they can, What happens? Why can they be found and things like that? So there is a reason for everything. You can explore this as well in the Echoes faction. We can talk about Armstrong as well. It's one of our in-game companies. And the Fotoli, for example, which are wrapped in mystery. So yeah, guys, there are many, many interesting things to do, and most of them will get answered, or maybe not most of them, but a sizable part will be answered before stream. So you guys can start doing your own explorations and or your own adventures in terms of lore. But yeah, you guys have the opportunity here to bypass these gates of lore, So we can have three different
That's
questions answered.
a privilege that only Brew listeners get.
Members will have, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's you're in the core here, guys. You're watching this universe unfold in front of your eyes, and you can be part of what unfolds first. And that's awesome, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped myself. Tufa lore looks to be the one of the most popular. Everybody wants Tufa Tufa. I see a question. This is Wiki Week Week. He says, "Can an Oni and a mod make a baby and produce a hybrid race?" And he especially commented that he likes the Oni girls, the Oni ladies. So is it possible?
The Muds and the Onis?
Yeah, making like a cross faction hybrid, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sorry. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm Mongo with
And
the gift. Oh man, look at that
Oh,
gift. Oh my god.
and we
Oh
have
my
seen one
gosh.
already in terms of lore.
Oh.
Already.
What? What? Somebody said something.
Now, Jose said that there was already a hybrid in the lore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
this chat is so degen now.
So I have a question from the Mud faction.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Sure.
go for it.
go.
So what's our biggest gun, and what is the beer ration?
Sorry.
What was the second
Like
part of your question?
ration of beer we get when
Oh, the ration
for,
of beer.
yeah, for enlisted soldiers.
Oh man. Yeah. This is also a great question. And
Yeah, when
like,
T1.
yeah, I would say that right now the strongest ship in humanity is the T-Spears.
Okay.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Do the
That's
Okay.
Fodali and Tufa have Titan ships?
this is an awesome question which I won't answer now, but it can be one of the questions that we answer.
I mean, the Fotoli is pretty answer, I think, in the lore, right?
Oh.
Oh well. I mean,
Minus
if
XP
I
Visconti.
if if I go to the posters,
No, said stop, man.
okay, okay, I will stop. But
Oh my god, Seth, we need to keep the jobs on written.
oh yeah. We're trying to keep the gates closed while
Yeah.
we have questions being shot at us. Like, bro,
Yeah, man, it's hard.
bro.
You need to keep your head. You need to
Yeah,
keep
it's
your.
difficult, to
Yeah, because
to
you have the answer. So
you
it's
need to once you have a question, like you need to think, okay, I know this, but was this release or not?
yeah,
Like,
it's hard. It's hard.
do
It's
I
hard.
keep it? Ah, it's difficult, bro.
It's difficult. You feel me,
Jose
right?
and Jose and Santi are having a tough time, guys. I would just ask everything you can right now.
No.
Oh no, Tom.
Oh my god, man.
They have no idea, dude. They're about to leak everything. Let's go. I'm down.
When
Tom.
Titan ship. We know that's the most kept secret of all the secrets.
Yeesh.
What do you want to know about them, Bomber?
When he
Anything.
wants when.
You need to phrase the question, man, and then we vote on it. If it passes, I'll answer.
Yeah. Just a heads up for everyone about the questions and how they'll be voted on. If you say your question in the voice chat, also type the question in the chat because I'll be looking back and then gathering all the questions that were asked, and then people can vote on them. So if you have a question that you want answered and you want to be voted on, just make sure to type it in the Atlas Brew chat.
Yeah, I'm just messing. I know that would just get discarded, and they would just say we're not telling you. So
No, if the question passes, I will answer the question.
for
You
the
will answer
Titans,
when
He will
Titans.
answer any question. He will
Oh
answer
About
any
the
question.
lore, the
shit.
lore. It's not about
I see.
release. I am
I
not
almost
the
got you.
responsible for that. I'm asking. I'm talking about the lore, my realm, and the Sandman of the lore. I'm joking, guys, but yeah, ask about the lore, and
I
I'll
guess
come up with
more
answers.
pertaining to the lore would be what initiated the Titan building. How long did they take, and did all three clash together?
That's a good question.
Was there like a Mexican standoff with all three Titans sitting next to each other?
I'll answer
That's
this. I'll give you an answer, and this can be deduced from the poster, so I don't think this is. But by the time the first Titan was built, the last 10, the other factions didn't have a Titan. So they
Ah,
simply couldn't put a fight against the Titan.
wow. That's
thank you.
Scotty just posted a good one. How does police work in lore? That's interesting.
This is an interesting question.
It's an interesting one. Are you thinking of that already, Jose?
Yep.
Bro, you're thinking about everything. My man, it's an army.
Yeah, man.
I've got a just in general from how you're taking lore into the beginning of gameplay. Um, are you planning on continuing lore stories based off of what happens in actual gameplay, or is that kind of where your lore writing stops?
No, we envision that the events that happen in the game, especially if, for example, you guys decide to vote the end of the Treaty of Peace, this will have impacts in the Starata's lore for sure. So yeah, you guys will be, in a sense, protagonists of the Starata's lore after the gameplay structures are delivered.
So lore is going to be an ongoing thing as well. That's also important. Like people will be
Yeah,
able to write the lore pretty much based
yeah,
on in-game stuff.
yeah,
I
exactly.
love that idea. The the things that I do actually will change the story in a very real way. I think that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, you'll feel the effects of your actions, too good or too bad, to the best of
Wow,
for the worst. Yeah,
awesome. Burnt a treaty of peace, says Major Easy. I wasn't expecting less from you, Major Easy.
yeah, Major Easy. I was waiting for your intervention, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Um.
mate, it's all unicorns, peace, and love and rainbows.
Care Bears, right?
That's right.
Skull
Egonactus
asked
goes.
a good question as well, and
Yeah,
Egonat.
want to read it?
Yeah, bud.
Are there any other human cultures outposts outside the factions described? This is a good question. This is a really good question. It goes well with Skull's one.
Yeah. To say, I have a question. Is only Oni the faction with sub races?
No, you didn't. You took.
Oh, somebody is unmuted while speaking with his daughter. Not sure who
I,
it is.
But a friend just wants to
I think
play
it's
with.
Thor.
It's Thor's daughter.
Yeah. Sorry, Thor. Had to mute you, bro.
No problem. That's a good question, Santi. You should add that to the other questions.
Yeah. But we don't have the answer yet, right?
Maybe we do.
Oh shit, Jose.
Uh,
Jose, man. You're going to. I mean, it's crazy how much you're writing, bro. Like, and it must be difficult for you to keep the gates closed right now, man. I don't want to be in your
yeah, man.
situation.
Yeah,
Information
yeah,
overload.
yeah,
Overload.
yeah. But to be fair, this is the work of a team, right? We have lots of people in the writers' room, and all of them discuss the drafts. They make drafts of their own, and we go discussing the different factions and races and classes and institutions. So yeah, but we'll get there with your answers, with everyone's answers.
Cool. Stop classes of Usturs, the Usturs want to.
Hmm. This is a tricky question because if I said something, they would say that I confirm or disconfirm that Usturs have classes or subclasses or subraces. So yeah, if you want to learn about that, you can frame that as one of the questions.
Cool. Cool, cool. So you want the questions to be specific, Jose, right?
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, people will ask like super generic, super open questions that will open up for philosophical interpretations, right? We need to be, as you are asking for a wish or maybe from a, yeah, you need to be precise.
Yeah. What explosives does Ecos use that is destructive but still plants stuff? That's a good specific one. That's
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
specific one. Good question,
yeah,
Scotty. Good question, man. How far did the humans went before the Fotoli intervention? From Squall.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good question.
Nice.
Usturs
Yeah,
have
that's a
organic
really good
parts in their
question.
body? This is a good question as well.
I want to know that answer as well. Humans were just humans before, right? Mud only after it, right? Oh, Squall, you are proving your lore knowledge here
Yeah,
with
this
these
is a good
questions.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We know
someone
Squall
mentioned
is deep into
earlier
lore.
for the
Yeah, Bomber.
mud, why do the mud have sort of metallic plates on them on their faces?
Oh yeah, that's I saw that one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would like to know that answer as well.
Ognad asked a really interesting question. Other societies or species that live within the if you mean the high risk zone, there are many of them, and one of them I already spoke of in the weekly lore called the Oxir, which is a tribe that works under certain aspects that guides their culture and civilization. I want to say a little bit of auto about this, but yeah, I won't.
Yeah. I have a question. You don't need to say yes or no. Just I'm curious. Are there any high risk zone races or something like that that we don't know yet about, and that we
Are
will
you
only
putting
find
me
out
on the
about
spot
them
like that,
in
bro?
game? Bro, I'm just me.
Ask,
It's
ask.
just me being curious. Like
No,
this is not me being
you
the
need to
host.
do like everyone, Santi. Ask the
Yeah,
question
yeah.
and
Yeah,
have the
ask
people
the
vote.
question, Taku.
You can't use your privilege to pass forward people.
You're right, man. But you ended up putting me on the spot. My gosh, that was that was fast. My gosh.
Here's a
But
question that I
yeah,
think you can answer, Jose.
The
Actually,
Atlas Theory one.
yeah. Go for it, Santi.
Yeah,
Go for it.
yeah. So Atlas Theory says, what tools are Jose and the team using to build out the lore? Campfire, Word Anvil, or something in house? What are you using,
Mm.
Jose?
Yeah, this is a good question as well. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to answer that one.
Oh,
I'll check with the guys. But
okay.
yeah, Aaron, this is a
So
good
you're using
question.
tools. That's the answer.
No, I didn't say
Okay.
that.
Okay. Jose, you're fast. Jose, yeah. Sheesh. Let's see. Anyone with the mic who would like to ask one? But there's a lot, Dom. Not sure how we're going to do to pick up all this, man.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a bit, but it's alright.
Yeah,
Worth it.
it's gonna take a while. Hope everybody
Uh,
votes
it's
after your vote matters.
I've
Carlos
got an interesting
and
question.
Scotty asked interesting questions right now.
Which ones?
Are Mud still in contact with Fotoli? And Scotty asked about the manufacturers having CEOs and boards of directors, or they are governed with DAOs as well.
Wow,
And I'll
those are
say that
good questions.
in one of our weekly episodes of the we learned about how Busan is controlled in terms of structure. So you have at least one of the manufacturers not being controlled by a DAO but by a board of directors.
I've got a question for crew members. Is there a benefit or disadvantage to having different factions of crew members within your ship? Is that even possible? For example, having, a mud captain and an Ooster engineer.
I feel this is more of game design question, Bomber. In the lore point of view, it's totally possible to do this if they have the appropriate knowledge. But
Makes sense.
yeah,
Oh, we went silent right there. I was typing. So yeah, Scotty and Squall are shooting everything they have. I love that.
yeah,
Just said the lawyer. Yeah, guys, don't
yeah,
forget that
and
Jose is the lawyer.
I need to protect myself, right?
Yeah,
Don't produce proofs against me, you know?
yeah, man. I feel it's awesome that you're like you have like a lawyer background and you're writing law right now. Like that speaks a lot about how passionate you are because it's you.
Yeah.
I don't imagine like a classic lawyer writing law. You know?
You know something really cool, Santi? When I was a lawyer, I wrote a book about the Brazilian Constitutional Court. And yeah, it was my first book, and I it's a real technical book. And I was like, man, I wish I could write one day something that's more like it's enjoyable, that people would like reading and something like this. And a few years later, here I am now. If you
That's
search on the
dope,
internet,
man.
you'd find my book. It's super funny, but I won't tell
That's
the title, so you
awesome.
guys don't go searching.
That's awesome, bro. I love that. Archetype. I see Archetype saying, "Will Santi and Jose be crew characters we can purchase for our ships?" Bro, I hope it.
Man, imagine that.
Dude,
Maybe.
200 Solana right now.
Oh, Tesco
Bro.
Penguin crew member. Oh, instant purchase.
That's
Oh
an
my
instant buy.
Uh,
god, man.
I remember. I think it was a sprite who created some art of like an Ooster penguin, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was
It
super
was
fun.
awesome. I'm trying to find it right now to share it, but I really imagine you like that on a ship, just being.
I need to have some my Nike Santis in game.
That would be fun.
Oh, that would be crazy.
A
Like to
penguin with
see,
glasses, right?
bro. That would be awesome.
As a pet, maybe.
Yeah,
Man, I think we have lots of questions already.
bro. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We're sending
Stop the
Dom to
count.
the
Stop the count.
Dom.
Yeah.
Go down to the basement, bro. Get back to work. Get back to work and start looking at the at the questions. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to find the penguin. I can't find it, bro. But they were
Oh,
super
someone
funny.
asked a really good one, right?
Oh, I like that one.
Are there
Jose answered it.
gods in the Star Atlas universe? Man, this is a really, really. I would love to see it pass in the vote. This penguin, man. This is the
Bro,
best.
that's imagine like having that crew member in your ship, bro. If I attack a ship
Oh,
and I
dude, you're
see that
screwed.
inside, bro, no, I'm I'm
You won, right?
I'm running away for sure, bro. I will always say. Imagine you're a bounty hunter. You go to a ship, you look at one window or something, and there's that thing like waiting for you inside of it,
Oh,
bro.
hell no.
No, yeah, oh hell no.
Man.
Oh my gosh. So I think we are close to an hour, so we have a call right now in 1 minute. So I would like to open the floor before we close to any updates that anyone may have, like any guilds or anyone working on anything. As always, we want to open mics for that if anyone has anything to share. If not, we can close and we can send them to the basement to start collecting the questions. Okay, I guess we're chilling.
Yeah, thank you for hosting this brew.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank you
love
for
this
thank you
one,
for
guys.
coming.
I think
Yeah,
this was a
Yeah.
really good brew, man.
yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I love when the brews are about like getting the community involved into like some decision making and something that we are working on right now. Because I think that's a great thing about the brew, like and you guys being here, like you're part of something that is super core, like you're literally it feels like it's you're even part of the team. I want to like that's kind of like the objective we have in the community team, like try
Yeah.
to have you guys as close as we can to the whole development process. And I think the brew is one of the best ways to do stuff like that. So I appreciate you just say coming here, letting people ask questions and you focusing on what is going to be voted, after we have the questions.
Yeah, man.
So
I, I love being
uh,
here with you guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, the brew started because of you guys. Guys, if you don't have the contest, like how the brew started, it was just jumping on the voice chat. He did some research on police, and he was like, "Guys, I want to spread some knowledge, you know." And that's literally how the first brew happened. So I love it. I love it, and it's
30
crazy that we
weeks
are
ago, man. It's a
30
long
weeks
journey.
ago, bro. It's a long journey. We never miss a week. When I went on
Yeah.
vacations for 1 week, the community hosted it. Like
Yeah.
community hosted brew, and that's that's insane. I love that.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, I mean, right now I want to cover also the next steps from here for you guys. What we'll do again is we send him down to the basement. He will collect the questions, and we'll be posting a poll. We probably will be closing the Atlas Brew chat and posting a poll with all the questions that were asked for you guys to vote on them. And the three with the top votes are going to be prioritized in the lore pipeline. So yeah, guys, you choose. You choose. You will probably next time you hop in the brew chat, you will see it closed and with a Google form or a post for you to go vote on. So yeah, guys, I think that's it. Thank you, Jose, man, as always for being here, sharing knowledge. Thank you, Dom, as well. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you everybody for listening. Thank you so much. We love to host brews like this. Hope you enjoy it as much as we do, and see you on the next one, guys. Power to the people.
And stick to the man. Thank you, guys. It was awesome. See ya.
See you
Have a
guys.
good day, guys.
Thank you all.
Let the after party begin. Is anyone else drinking some liquor to celebrate this fine brew? Anyone want to chat?